I didn't raise no big city pretty girl.
Maybe you should drive a Yukon. Pick up whenever you call. In the parking lot in Tucson. Like, are you with me? In the phantom with the...
Sophie Cunningham is suddenly the headline nobody saw coming. Forget the old scouting reports, forget the gritty role player label. Sophie is rewriting her entire WNBA story. And it all started with a simple shirt. Yep, you heard that right. A plain white tee with bold black letters. Hot girls eat Arby's. Sounds like a meme, right? Well, that meme just made Sophie Cunningham the most talked about player in the league. But how did we get here? How did a forward known for her hustle plays flip the WNBA on its head, sign with Arby's, and turn into a viral sensation? Let's break this insane ride down piece by piece. Before we break it all down, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Sophie was spotted walking into the tunnel in that now iconic shirt. Tight white tee, short black skirt, knee-high boots. And instantly, boom, the internet blew up. Small and large sizes of the shirt gone from Arby's website within hours. TikTok couldn't stop replaying the clip. Sports blogs weren't just recapping games, they were writing about Sophie's outfit. But here's the twist. This wasn't random. Arby's didn't stumble into it. Sophie had already made a viral TikTok reviewing their curly fries and roast beef sandwiches. Corporate noticed, and suddenly she wasn't just an athlete, she was on the Arby's payroll. Think about that. In a league that's always begging for mainstream attention, it wasn't a 40-point game that went viral. It was Sophie Cunningham walking like she owned the runway, with a side of fries. Now, if you've followed Sophie since her Missouri days, you know she came into the WNBA with one word attached to her name: grit. Dive for loose balls, scrap for rebounds, trash talk like a seasoned vet. Coaches loved her edge, but casual fans barely noticed. Fast forward to now, and it's like we're looking at a completely different person. Her muscles are sharper, her confidence is louder, and the swagger? Off the charts. She moves like she knows she's the show. Here's the crazy part. She's still averaging around 5 points a night. She's not suddenly Caitlin Clark dropping 30, but Sophie figured out something most players never learn. Impact isn't always about numbers. When she's on the floor, the pace changes. Her defense tightens up. She spaces smart, sets tone-setting screens, and when she nails a three, it's almost always at the moment Indiana needs it most. She's proof that basketball isn't just box scores. It's energy. It's presence. And Sophie has both in spades. Her body tells the story. Defined shoulders, quick feet, strong legs that let her guard multiple positions. She can bang with forwards and still keep up with guards. That versatility doesn't scream from a stat sheet, but teammates feel it every possession. And let's be real, fans feel it too. Watch her tunnel walks. Every step screams confidence. Sophie isn't just playing anymore, she's performing. But here's the part most people miss. Her glow-up isn't just physical, it's mental. She's sharper, savvier, and knows exactly how to work the new world of sports. Basketball plus personality. That combination? Deadly. If you've never scrolled Sophie's TikTok, you're missing half the show. It's chaos, in the best way possible. One post, she's dancing in cowboy boots, the next, she's flexing in the gym, then roasting refs with side-eye edits that fans eat up. Nothing's polished, nothing feels fake. And that's why it works. She doesn't try to be someone else. She just is. That authenticity is gold in 2025. People want to feel like they're hanging out with their favorite athletes, not watching a PR script. Sophie gets it. Her followers climb every week because she's showing the goofy, the glamorous, the sweaty, and the savage all at once. And a league? They can't ignore it anymore. Clips of her dancing or laughing with teammates do more to market the WNBA than most highlight reels. Here's where Sophie Cunningham proved she's built different. Most players bite their tongue when it comes to referees. Not Sophie. After a chippy game, she pulled out her phone, hopped on TikTok, and in the most sarcastic way possible, roasted the officiating. She lip-synced to the lyrics, "Stupid," or "Is it slow?" or maybe "useless," with the words "at some refs" splashed across the screen. The league didn't love it. They hit her with a $500 fine. For a lot of players, that would have been the end of the story. delete the post, issue an apology, and move on. But Sophie? She laughed it off. She left the video up, watched it rack up over 1 million views, and even tweeted through it with laughing emojis. I don't know why this is funny to me. Like, okay, you got it, bud. Because there's not more important things to be worried about with our league right now. In one swoop, that $500 fine turned into a viral campaign that made her even more popular. And then came round 2. Less than 2 weeks later, on the premiere of her new podcast, Show Me Something, Sophie went right back at it. She called out the officiating for being just so inconsistent and joked that finding her wasn't going to stop her from speaking her mind. The WNBA's response? A $1,500 fine. Sophie's response? Pure comedy. She laughed into the mic and said, well, guess that's rent. Instead of looking reckless, Sophie came across as real. She became the voice of every frustrated fan who thought the refs were ruining games. The league wanted to make an example out of her, but every time they tried to shut her down, her following only grew. Think about it. How many players can get fined $2,000 in a month and come out more popular, more marketable, and more respected than before? Sophie pulled it off. She flipped league discipline into free publicity, turned fines into content, and proved that authenticity is her greatest weapon. Not every leader is a franchise star. Sophie isn't Indiana's top scorer. That's Caitlin Clark's world. But every team needs someone who sets the tone. That's Sophie. On the bench, she's clapping, shouting, hyping rookies, and keeping vets accountable. On the court, she's calling mismatches before they happen, pulling teammates aside mid-play, and making sure the energy never dips. The crazy part? Everyone listens. Kelsey Mitchell respects her. Clark jokes with her. The locker room leans on her. She's not the face of the franchise, but she's the fire behind it. And sometimes, that fire explodes. June 17th, Fever vs. Sun. It had been a bruiser from the opening tip. Bumps on every cut, hands in every drive, and Caitlin Clark taking more than her share of hard contact. Earlier in the game, she caught a poke to the eye under the rim. The gasp from the crowd told you everything about the temperature of the night. Fast forward to the final minute. The tension that had been simmering finally boiled over. On a dead ball scramble, Sophie Cunningham went straight at Connecticut guard J.C. Sheldon, grabbing her by the head and bringing her to the floor. Different angles described it as grabbed and brought down or even flung out of bounds, but however you phrase it, it was a hard foul with zero ambiguity about the message. Officials went to the monitor. When they came back, it was heavy. Flagrant 2 and ejections followed. The arena split. Sun fans furious, Fever fans roaring, but inside Indiana's huddle, the read was simple. That was for Caitlin. And that's exactly how it played. Cunningham said afterward she was sticking up for Clark, and Clark's own reaction, finally someone else stands up for me, told you everything about how the Fever saw it. It wasn't about starting a fight, it was about drawing a line. Clark had been getting big league treatment all season, and Sophie decided the response needed to be just as big. Online, the clip detonated. TikTok loops, X threads, comment sections dubbing Sophie Clark's bodyguard and Indiana's enforcer. Media segments argued intent, fans argued impact. But inside the locker room, the effect was clear. The Fever played closer, sharper, and more together after that night. You could feel a shift. Not a box score thing, a back us up thing. This wasn't instant retaliation for the eye poke. That contact on Clark happened earlier, and the confrontation with Sheldon came later, under a minute to go. But that timing actually made the moment louder. It wasn't a heat-of-the-moment flail. It was the point where weeks of physical play met one person's decision to say, enough. Every great team has someone willing to take the heat so the star doesn't have to. Hockey calls them enforcers. In basketball, they're the tone setters who accept being the villain in opposing gyms. On June 17th, Sophie Cunningham became that for Indiana. Not by padding stats, but by absorbing consequences and changing the way teams thought about touching Clark. Highlight reels fade. Culture moments stick. This one stuck. With the Fever, with their fans, and with everyone now watching Sophie a little differently. And if you think the league didn't notice, just wait until you hear what happened next with the fines. Her rise is so undeniable that Jeannie Buss herself, yes, the Lakers owner, offered Sophie a spot in Women of Wrestling. Think about that. from scrappy role player to potential pro wrestling star. Why? Because Sophie has what every entertainment industry craves: presence. She's sharp, stylish, savage. She talks like she owns every room. She's not just blending into the WNBA, she's bending it around her. From TikTok chaos to Arby's contracts, from $500 fines to viral tunnel walks, Sophie Cunningham is rewriting what it means to be a star athlete today. So what's the real story here? Sophie Cunningham isn't chasing clout, she's creating it. She's not padding stats, she's shifting culture. She's not waiting for the spotlight, she's wearing it. And in a league searching for its next wave of marketable stars, Sophie is showing them exactly how it's done. This isn't just a glow-up, it's a full-blown takeover. Strong, stylish, savage. If you're not watching Sophie Cunningham right now, you're missing the whole show.